Hey there, welcome back. Let's continue the episode where we left in the previous episode. Here in the source code, let's try to add some code in the join seller program because you can see in the seller handler, first of all, we need to join the seller program, all right? And then we can just only get the payment methods and edit payment methods, right? Let's try to handle this function, right? First thing first, what we need to do, we need to grab the authentication token. That is where we can grab it from our header. So let's try to add some code quickly in order to get the security token. Perfect. So let's try to fix all this, the import issues. Right, so here also. Perfect, so we have authorized the user, right? So we have a kind of valid payload. Okay, now let's try to grab the inputs. Perfect, so we have added the inputs, right? And this input exactly it's coming from our seller input, which is we have created in our previous episode, where it's a kind of DTO, right? Where our payment method inputs and our address also it's going to be it's added together, right? So that is what we are doing right here. And let's try to fix this import issue once again. Right, now we have a first name, last name, phone number, and address, right? So let's try to check it out whether this user has been already enrolled or not, right? So in this case, let's const enrolled view this dot repository, then check enroll program, and this is going to be payload dot user ID. That's right. So if perfect, we have checked here whether that the user is already enrolled or not. If it is already enrolled, then it will going to return some kind of error message by saying you have already enrolled for this seller program, you can sell your products now, right? And if it doesn't exist, right, or it is not enrolled, yeah, then we will be updating the user account because these are the informations we need to update. And after that, we will be update address as well as, and then we will be creating the payment method. And after that, we will be sign the token and we will return back just like we did for our the sign up and the sign in, right? Let's try to perform all the steps one by one. Perfect. So now let's try to understand one by one all these things. All right. So this is, we need to check it out whether we have the errors or not. If we have the errors, right? So we missed that thing, maybe errors. This is going to be like if error will be true, then return error response will be 404 and error. Perfect. All right. Let's try to understand one by one what exactly is going on here. Right. So this is, you already got it, right? So where we are just authentication token, we are just getting it here, and it's verifying like whether user is authorized user or not. And after that, we are just taking the input, right? And here we are just deconstructing all this input, right? First name, last name, phone number, and the address. All these inputs are here. Then we are checking it out whether it's enrolled or not. And after that, we are updating the user here. And if it is not updated, then we are returning from here by saying like error on joining seller program. And if it is updated correctly, right, user profile, then we are updating the address as well as. But this is not so important. That's why we are not waiting for the result at all, right? So here we are creating the payment method, right? So if the payment method is created successfully, then we are generating the token based on the updated user, and we are sending back some kind of response where a message will be there. Then inside the seller object, we will be having the token and all this rest of all information, just like our login and sign up. Okay. And if that the result is like false value, then we are returning here by saying like, hey, we cannot perform this operation, maybe error on joining seller program. Yeah. Here you can, maybe we can just log these things to our, the logger or somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, so that's all for this join seller program. So let's go ahead and add some code in the get payment method as well as, right? All right, so let's add some code in the get payment method. So here in the get payment method, so let's grab this piece of code from here, right? Copy here and add it, because the same kind of validation is going to be needed, right? Now let's try to grab the payment method. This is going to be plural. Right. Perfect. So our payment method is ready. It's very simple. Like we are just to try to get all the payment methods from our repository by our authenticated user, right? So then let's go to edit payment method. So here, let's try to add some code. It is going to be similar, just like this. Join seller program. Let's copy all these things from here until this input as well as, because we are going to edit some informations, then the input also going to be needed, right? Let's try to add this one. So we have authenticated user, we have this input, but this time this input will be our payment method input, right? Then right after this one here, we are going to update our payment methods. So let's try to add some code quickly. This payment ID will be, we'll put something here, and All right, here's a typo exactly. So let's try to change this one here. 1C is missing. Let's try to refactor this one. Refactor. Okay, let's see. Maybe it will throw some kind of error everywhere. So let's try to resolve it. Success response. This is going to import from here. Success response. Right, so let's try to rectify all this errors. Right, this is cool. Now we can return it just like a message here saying payment method updated, else return 500, which is we can copy from here as well as. All right, now this payment ID is a mystery, right? Because we need the payment ID, and which is exactly it doesn't exist for a while. So where we can get this one, because if you remember in the first time when we have added this one, the endpoints, then we have already kept a kind of placeholder for here, right, for payment methods. So this ID we need to grab it. So let's go ahead and here grab it right after this error. Yeah, const payment ID will be our path parameters.id. Right, and let's try to convert these things to number. Right, now we can assign this here. So why exactly is complaining? Update payment method, this payment ID, right? This is a kind of payment ID which is payment underscore ID. So that means we need to add like this. Right, let's make it this way. Cool. So our edit payment method also it's correctly added. Now this is the time where we are going to give it a try, right? Let's try to verify everything for the seller handlers. First of all, here in the serverless, the YAML file, we have added this. These are the endpoints. Yeah, this is correct. And now here in the seller handler, we have all these methods correctly. It's enticed. This is join seller program. Yeah, it is correct. And get payment method. This is also correct, right? And edit payment methods. This is also correct. Everything is good, right? Now let's check it out whether we have imported all these files correctly or not. Yes, it is correct. And here seller handler also, yes. Let's try to replace this app with double dot, then it is properly wired up. And seller program also, let's check it out whether we have any kind of issues. No, fine. Seller repository is correct, and seller service also all perfect. Now let's give it a try. Yarn try to install all these things. Yeah, it is updated. Yarn run dev. Perfect. So, and these are all the endpoints, and it is added. Maybe you can check it out, the endpoints are added correctly or not. Yeah, this is the payment method one, this is get one, and this is the join one. Cool, everything is up and running. All right, so let's give it a try from our postman. So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to sign up one user, right? So, and URL is correct, yes. Right, now let's try to start again. Now let's try to send the request. Okay, success response is not a function. Yes, that's true. Because why? We have renamed the specific utility function, but we have not rectified in many places. Maybe in the user service somewhere it is already laying down there. So let's go to the user service. Here, user service. Let's check it out. Yeah, this is right. Now, yes, plenty of places are there where maybe let's find it out where exactly it exists. the success response. It's been added everywhere. Perfect. Perfect, it is added. Now let's try to restart once again the server, but we have already that specific user been created maybe, because while it is returning the response, then only it has some kind of issues, right? So that means let's go ahead and check it out here in the database. User, we are going to see the data. Yes, it is created right now. Okay, that means we can just simply do login from here. Okay, login. Yeah, this is cool, right? We have the token as well as, and we have our email, phone, user type. So these are the necessary information which is we are going to use in our front end. So let's check it out. This token exactly this existed the buyer or not. So to verify that one, you can go ahead to JWT website, jwt.io, and here paste your token here. Then you can find it out. User type is buyer. Cool. That's wonderful. Perfect. So our login is working. Now what we can do, we can just use that token, right, and assign here in user the directory, and you can utilize everything here. But every time you are logging in, you need to use this token, copy paste right there. So we will be not going to do this one this way. So let's try to add some script in Postman. So here in the go to the test tab, here add some code just like var JSON data. Maybe you can keep it camel case, and JSON.parse, right? And here, whatever the response body you will be receiving from here, response, the response body, and that JSON data will be this data exactly, right? So now let's set the environment variable, just like the set environment variable. This is going to be capital letter, right? This is going to be camel case, like postman dot set environment variable, right? So here inside the user token JSON data dot token. So this is the object exactly, JSON data, and inside the JSON data has a kind of object that is called data. Again, inside the data we have token. So that is what we are just grabbing it here, and we are setting it to user token, right? So that means you go to seller here, or maybe user service, right? From here, instead of this bearer token, we can utilize just like this. User token, right? Now let's try to log in, right? This piece of code, right after this successful login, this specific script is going to be executed, right? Let's try to do that. Yes, it's executed. Now we should able to see the specific token in user service, right? Now you can see this is the exact token, which is starting with like EYJHB, and if you go to see like here EYJHB, yeah, that's correct, right? Now let's go to the seller here. Here also we can use the inherit auth from the parent. That's cool. And join seller program authorization will going to be, yeah, this is correct. And now these are the informations I have used for joining the seller program, right? This is the endpoint which is we are going to use for joining seller program. And my first name, last name, phone number, yeah, this is not absolutely my bank account number, but the Swift code regular, payment type is regular, it's cool. And these are the address, right? Let's try to send the request. Okay, so it says like this specific join seller program undefined, not exported. So that means we have some issues, right? Maybe that the handler function is not correct. That is, we need to check it out. Whether this seller handler, yeah, because this handler we have added here, but you can see like this is our main handler, right? Here also we need to import that one. So let's try to import from there and re-export from here. That means we can directly point it to here, the handler as well as, right? Just to try to export here as well as from the handlers, then seller handler. Cool. Now let's try to restart the server. Perfect. So now let's try to call this endpoint once again. Okay, so syntax error near user type. Right, let's try to debug this one, where exactly it is happening. So syntax error, it belongs to like the SQL only. And here, can you see here we don't have kind of one comma, right? These are always like critical stuff. Often we are just ignoring like the small stuff. It is giving a little bit pain while writing this kind of queries, right? But anyway, so this is correct. We should have to verify right before execute this stuff. Cool. So now let's go ahead and try to create once again. I'm gonna close this server. Right. And cool. And right now, once again, just send this request. Perfect. So our it is saying like successfully joined the seller program, right? And it's giving the token as well, and everything is there. So if you go to the database, right? Well, let's go to database and users. Right now, can you see earlier it was buyer, right now it is seller, right? And if you go to address, and address also, it is just like it is edit the address. And if you go to payment method, then you can see our bank account number, Swift code, and everything has been added. Then the second case, right? The first case is perfectly fine. We are able to join the seller program, right? Let's try to join once again. And if it is working correctly, then it should have to say like, you have already enrolled, right? Let's try to do that. Cool. So it is saying like, you have already enrolled the seller program, right? You can sell the product. Perfect. Now, let's grab our payment methods, right? So how we can get the payment methods? So let's try to grab it out just like this. This is the payment method, edit payment method. Just to duplicate this one, like get payment methods, and this is going to be our get call, and yeah, body will be null, right? So let's try to remove everything. Now call this one. Yeah, it is giving the payment method, right? This is user ID, this is user ID, this is bank account, Swift code, and everything, right? Let's try to change the bank account, right, by editing the payment method. So this is the ID 1. Let's provide the ID 1. Yeah, cool. Then and yes, it says like syntax error again. So let's go where we have the syntax error. Then let's go to the seller handler and get payment method is working, right? Edit payment method has the problem. So now let's close it once again and check it out where this is correct, update payment method, and update payment method set this one. Yeah, this last comma is not required, right? Right after payment type, this comma is not required. So let's try to add all these things. Let's try to update this one. Perfect. So it is updated successfully, right? The payment method updated successfully. So now if you go and check it out again, the same payment method, right? Get payment method, then it is updated to my latest one. Cool. So here in the seller handler, you can see we have successfully joined the seller program, right? And finally we are able to patch the available payment methods, and we can successfully edit the payment method as well as, right? So that's all for today. In the next episode, we are going to work on this section, right? Here, the join seller section, join seller program section is done right now, right? And we are going to work on this, the listing product and create, edit, and delete product, right? So where we need to work on the product service, because this seller journey exactly it's a combination of the user service, product service, and transaction service. I hope you have enjoyed this video tutorials. And if you really like this video tutorials, give me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe it right now, because I'm gonna put a lot of useful tutorials throughout of this channel. And see you in another episode. Bye-bye.